Push the red button when I start.
Yeah, I hit the red button, but it was black.
All right. Okay. So we will select.
If you're not here, you don't deserve it.
Yeah. Well, it's to make life easier for Jennifer. Okay. So we'll select a seller. Does anybody have an address they want to use?
Yes. No, I'm joking.
Okay, that's fine.
8361.
Huh?
8361
8361.
Mineral Springs Drive. 2 words.
Okay. Mineral.
Mineral Springs
Uh-huh.
Drive.
Okay, you don't put in the drive, you don't put in the road, you don't put east or west, or any of those things out.
Manassas.
Okay, then what's the zip code?
20112.
Okay, so you don't need to put in this other information. If you do, that's fine, it's not required. Okay, then you hit get tax record.
Okay.
Tax record successfully received. I hope this is, okay. So, in here, it goes and it ties into the tax information that's in MLS. How often is tax record information in MLS correct?
Sometimes.
Very rarely is it correct. Hello, Tatiana. So, when you're preparing the CMA, if you haven't seen the house, and you're not familiar with the house, or you haven't seen the house in a long time, this is the time you pick up the phone and you actually call the seller. It's okay to call sellers, so you guys know. Don't email, don't text. Call them up and you say, hey, I'm running the CMA for you. I want to make sure I have accurate information. Can you tell me how many levels are in the house? Joy, how many levels do you have?
3.
3 levels. So there's the first thing that we need to come in and correct.
Wow.
3 levels. How many bedrooms and bathrooms do you have? 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a half bath. Okay. Do you have a 1 or 2 car garage, 3 car garage? 2 car garage. Okay.
Wow.
Now, besides this information that you need to go in and fix, you're also going to say, so tell me, have you made any improvements in the last 5 years? No improvements in the last 5 years. Okay. How's your lot? Do you back to woods? Do you back to a major road?
Another house.
Another house. Okay. And then you'll know what the market conditions are in just a minute to make the adjustment for that. Because you make adjustments for that type of information. Okay. Now, if you have gone out and driven through the neighborhood and looked at all the other comparable sales, which you should do, before you put a house on the market, you should look at all the comparable sales. Right?
That's
there
right.
you go. Bobblehead, yes. So that you know what you're doing. You can take a picture of the house and you can upload the picture. If you don't upload the picture, it's going to go to Bing and it's going to download, you know, a big virtual Google Earth type of picture. Aerial shot. Okay? But you really should go and look at houses prior to you putting one on the market.
Do you
You should preview how many houses a day?
5.
5 houses a day. Okay. So, this is going to be their information down the left side. So what I typically do is I start with the neighborhood. Okay? So we're going to go Parkway West. Alright? And it's a detached house.
Correct.
Are there any townhouses in that neighborhood? No. Okay. You want to try and start with as broad a search as you can initially. Okay? And then from an appraisal standpoint, how far back does an appraiser go?
1 8 years.
90 days. So you come and you put in 90 plus. And then off-market date, so you can see if there's a lot of houses that are not selling in the neighborhood, 90 plus. And then you search. And it takes, this one takes a couple minutes to go in and pull all the records. If you like to search by a polygon, you can do that. Some people like that. If you don't get enough houses, you can go back and you can do further back. You can go back 180 days. But if we get too many, then we'll have to narrow it down. And it doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on. Okay. So, in this scenario, and see there's a townhouse. That's in Wilmington, Delaware. Alright, so that's not going to do us any good. So you,
So do a lot of times you just add the zip code along with your development?
so what I was gonna say, Mikey, that's a good thing, but you take out the development and just put in the zip code, okay? Or you can draw a polygon, okay? So those would be the two things that you can do. We don't have enough houses. Everybody see that? Now, the one thing to remember is there's 1 pending and 3 closed, no active. So that is what type of market?
Sellers one.
It's a good market, okay? So let's keep that in mind when we come back here
Or
and,
it's a really bad data entry market,
okay? And we'll get rid of Parkway West.
right? Because people don't put in the development.
Well, this one this pulls from the tax records.
Right, but if people don't put it in, I know it's pulling from the tax records, but if we have all these spelling issues and,
Right?
right, it's not just a bright thing.
Better just to do the zip code.
So we'll do detached, okay, because we know that there's other places in there. And then I'm gonna pull up houses that are within 5 years each way. Because if you do 20112, if you guys know that zip code, it's a big zip code. So we're gonna go 2001 through 2011. Okay? And then let's search.
No whammies. No whammies.
Huh?
No whammies.
No whammies. If that's gonna be, it only goes a max of 100, okay? So if we pull a max of 100, the next thing I would do is I would go to square footage. And I'd go like 300 below and 300 above,
Oh, really?
just to try and keep it close, okay? Who's on here, do you think?
All of us?
Oh. Are you Sigat brother?
Sullivan.
Sullivan. Why did he save?
You're lucky that's all we
Because
see.
he bookmarked it.
Remember the last time we did this?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Do you
Some
remember what
weird
popped
stuff.
up there?
Yes, I did. That was somebody else's computer, actually. It wasn't
Oh,
their
yes, that's
login.
right, it was Matt's.
It was Matt's. I don't think anybody else was paying attention. Luckily. So it is researching long and hard.
The connection seems to be slow, or it's
You heard more.
so many results, it's.
No,
like,
so it,
That's so funny.
that was an issue that was happening earlier today, is that it was taking a long time and then logging out.
Do you think you've got more than 100? Or close
It
to
very
it?
well could be. It usually doesn't take that long.
So I just typed in, I have a buyer looking at a house and I just typed in the information and it's completely,
What is?
let's pull up like a different house and a tax record. Should I just type it in the information I know?
Sure.
It pulled up a different tax record?
It's none of it says it's a one level, one bedroom house and it's a level townhome.
You sure you have the address right and the zip code?
Yeah.
It can't be right.
Somebody, Brian, you just registered?
Yes.
Brian, you registered?
Yep.
I registered.
I just,
I'm still trying to find my Polycom.
Just do a 1 mile or 2 mile radius.
I don't know.
Instead of using. So look, see where it says search radius there? Up on the screen?
I just went to home person.
Up there,
Oh.
above.
come on now.
Am I supposed to be able to read the phone?
Well, near the bottom.
You
of
did a
those
tough one
things, you
on
can
his
type
droid.
in, it says
Well-
search radius, you can put 1.0 miles.
It's not real.
2.0, 1.5, whatever you want. If you don't put anything in, it goes out 1 mile.
Should we narrow it by square footage and that should probably take away a lot.
Scotty, I did 2004 to 2008,
Yeah.
Excel.
and I got
My client's looking at
Oh, there we go.
Do
as soon as I was about to get out. Okay, so,
Click outside of it and see if it.
so what I do, personally, this is gonna be a personal choice, okay? Sometimes people will go in and they will they'll sort by square footage or by lot size, something along those lines. You can see there's gonna be some that have bigger lots. So you click on that and that's gonna give you, oh, no way. Oh my God. Hopefully it'll pull it faster that time. This time. What did you have, Brian?
So I did 2004 to 2008, and I got 25.
How many?
25. I got active, so I got active under contract. They came up pretty quick. Yeah, just hit the back button and then went that way. So give a good sample.
It's thinking. This is hardwired, I don't know why it's thinking.
Stay alive? Absolutely.
No. I don't want anything good.
Yeah, now we gotta go bang up Scott again. You how many?
Alright.
Oh! He kills me. What a pain in the ass. Wish he'd get quit or get fired. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, so this is where I come back in, I edit it right there.
You make more than a movie theater.
No, I
You
guess.
do 2004 to what?
2008.
To 2008. Okay.
The square feet there, is that on the main two levels?
Main two levels, correct. Yep, main two levels. Brian, you jinxed us. You can also go by the type of house, type of styles, like if you're doing stuff in Kings Park West, or Dunloring Woods, or Vienna Woods, and you only want to get bi-levels, or Cape Cods, or whatever, you can search that way.
When I logged in, how did you say you get past the having to pay?
You put in your email that's associated with MLS. That's how you register.
But I don't do it until I do my number and my numbers.
It's typically not this slow. Huh?
Yeah, it's gonna roll.
Yeah, it's typically not this slow. Could be that a lot of people want it.
So should we all get off so we can watch it?
Yeah, I can move that.
I'll log out.
I don't think so.
So Mike, how'd you make out on that Marl's charge?
No, I was trying to do for a problem thing.
Oh, it was.
That's how I found
No,
it.
that's not good.
I didn't have
Last month.
Wi-Fi on my side.
Brand.
No.
Got it.
Yeah, you didn't get any. Dave?
Yeah, that's why.
That's all I was like, I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
You still beat it down 3-0.
so I go and I click on all of them, and then you add items to CMA. Okay, so there's 5 active, 9 under contract, 9 sold, and 2 expired, okay? So that's a good market. I did one earlier today where there's 2, 18, and 27. So that's an excellent market, right? So this is a good market. It's a little bit above average. So then next you go and you click next. So it was click them all, add items to CMA, and then next. All right. So here we have one that's 6,000 square feet. So we're gonna get rid of that one. That's too big. Right?
Mhm.
Not a true comparison. And then I see one here that's on 1 acre. So again, 1 acre compared to 0.17 is not a good comparison. So we're going to recycle that one as well. Okay. So, oh, it's already on the market.
I know it is, but I want to see if I priced it right.
Okay, so if you have one that's on the market already, and you're going to be the second or third realtor in, you don't want to use that one as a comparison, so you want to get rid of that one. You don't want that to skew the numbers, because they could be way off. Okay, so here is there's 2 active, 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, and so forth, their size, their lot sizes, days on market, their original list price, their tax assessed value, their list price now, and then their list price to tax assessed value and list price to original list price. And then if it's a distressed property, yes or no. If you click on this will take you to the MLS listing for that property. So that you can go and you can look at pictures of the house and see what the condition of the house is. And then you can read the description of the house and all that. Okay? And then the red one here takes you to the tax assessment, or the public records. And then again, you can edit it or you can trash it. Okay? So, it's a little bit newer house on average. Square footage is bigger on yours. And then the tax assessed value is about $50,000 less, and they're asking $515,000. So this is where you will put in what you feel the value of this particular house would be based upon where the comparable sales are. Okay? You can always come back and readjust this number after you go through everything, but initially I'm going to say $600,000. I didn't see what you had it listed for.
Because you're just taking a mixture between tax assessment and square footage?
Well, you can do that, yep, that's one way of doing it. Also, if you know the neighborhood, you can have a better idea. So like if it's in South Riding, 2,900 square foot houses are going to be selling for, 6 1/4, 635.
Right, because both of these are now 20% above assessment,
These are,
the actives, yes.
okay. So we'll come back and we'll compare that later to what has sold, okay? So, what do we have here? We have one on 3 acres, 10 acres. So we're gonna get rid of those because they don't match. Is there anything and here's one 4,700 square feet, that's not a good comparison. So, let's recycle those. Okay. So we have 3,000 square feet, so that's pretty close. 483 tax assessed value, and then their sales prices are 546 about, okay? And then as Mike indicated earlier, the list price to tax assessed value ratio is 113%. Okay, nobody reduced price, no distressed property, so we don't have to get rid of any of those.
Right, and the actives were showing 120.
Right, so they're overpriced, right?
At 120.
And we'll see even
you would
more
think
when we
that's
go
correct.
back in and look. Okay, so we have square footage is 528 and tax assessed value is 538. So I'm going to say 535. I'm gonna have to go back and adjust my first number, because it's so far off of where these are.
So here you're taking the middle of the road, basically.
Well, again, yeah, just for this
Right.
example, right? But again, if you know the neighborhood and you know the house,
Yeah.
you can, if somebody, like this one, Joy said they hadn't done any updates in the last 5 years. If someone had put in a new kitchen, put in new bathrooms, new hardwood floors, painted, put on a screened-in porch in the last 5 years, I might put 550 there. But because I don't know enough about the house, other than what Joy said, I'm putting in the middle, okay? You can put in whatever you like, though. Okay, now on the solds, let's look here. First, we're gonna get rid of the rentals. Because obviously, there's only one rental. Okay, and then do we have any big ones? Let's get rid of that one, because that one is 100,000 over tax assessed value. Let's see what happened, oh, that one's 609, let's get rid of that one.
And the one above it's got more acreage too.
For sale.
1.27 acres, yep, for sale. So we'll get rid of that one. Try and narrow it down as much as possible.
So what's the reason they keep rentals in there?
It's with Bright, we can't get it out. It's only rented, it's not, they're changing the statuses in rented or lease. Because right now, if you go in, it's exclusive right to sell is what it says in the lease. So they're fixing that. So once they fix that, then that'll fix this. Not on purpose. Okay, so square footage wise, we're pretty close. Tax assessed value, we're about $20,000 more. And that's in the same neighborhood. So there's 3 in there. Those are the 3 that we talked about before.
How about, shouldn't you take out that 6-car garage?
Okay, so
Or what's the deal with that?
let's
Really?
It might be a mistake.
Oh, that's
right.
my
So that's why you go to click on the listing.
That's ridiculous.
I'm okay. 2-car garage.
Yeah.
Okay, so perfect timing. Thank you for that, Paul. What you do is you come over here, you click on edit, and we can't edit the garages.
Upper right.
Maybe it's got a big detached garage in the back.
There's no driveway around it.
You
On
didn't
a
change it.
quarter of an
You
acre.
missed-
You
yeah.
missed,
You
no.
didn't
4
change
extra
it.
garages.
You missed the
on a
You
quarter.
didn't change it. Change it again.
But that's
You
hard
swiped
to
it.
do, though.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm not sure how you fit 4 cars on it.
Right, it's not. Okay, so it still it didn't take it.
Because you hit cancel.
instead of done.
Well, because I tried to do that.
You should have hit done.
No, but the other one, you
Hit done and done.
have to do both
Now
steps
done.
correctly.
Right, done, and it said okay, okay, and done.
Again,
See,
closing, what's this?
it's not like me.
Yeah, dude.
Just put 0.
Cross error.
Point 0.00.
Yeah. Fat, drunk, and stupid. No, wait.
0.0.
It had 3 plus levels.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Point.
again, we're 20,000 above. The net sales price is $489,350. Wonder why this one, let's get rid of that one, even though it's in the same neighborhood.
Which
The
one you getting rid of?
assessment is 60 grand less.
Yeah, but it still seems to be pretty even from,
Percentages.
yeah, on the percentage side.
You'll see. 2836, see now we're closer, 475, 465. Selling price 500, net sales price 5. So in here, we're gonna go, what do you wanna say, 515? And 2 that didn't sell. Okay, 118 of tax assessed value ratio, right? Under contract, we said it was 113. And then solds. 107. So the ones that we saw earlier at 120 are substantially overpriced. Could be expired listings for you guys later. Okay, so look at how the numbers are way skewed. So let's go back to the active. And I am thinking we're looking more like 525. Okay, so these adjusted prices, they go back and they take what the sold properties averages were and come back and calculate that to give you what the adjusted price is, and same with the tax assessed value ratio.
Scott, what made you put the 525 again?
Based upon what we were looking at in the under contract solds and expires.
Okay, so you kind of took an average from those.
Yeah.
Okay.
So CMA summary, we have, okay, so this is a perfect example. Okay, there's one number that's really off, and that's the square footage price and the tax assessed value price of the active houses. But you see I put 525 in and it brought down to 505. So again, that's to bring in the price. So here you can say, okay, 518 and 513 are pretty close, correct? 573 way out of whack. Like not even close to what the other two are. So in here, you can adjust the weight. So 45, 10, and 45. Okay, so I want to give more weight to these and give a little weight to the square footage because they were bigger in some cases. Now you go and you update the price.
What about market condition? Don't you think
Okay,
it's
we're not there
a 4?
yet.
Oh, never mind.
We'll get there in a second.
But you do it all
Okay,
once.
so now it's brought it down to 521, okay? So we said the market condition was good, right? I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't 2, 18, and 23. It was 5, 9, and 9. So that's a good market, not a great market, right? Average, or do you think good? We have poor, not good, average, good, excellent.
Good.
I think it's, you think it's good?
I do.
I think it's average. I think, and I know that zip code. That zip code, mid-county on Prince William Parkway, takes forever to sell. True? Not true?
I sell them in a week.
Well, that's you.
Throw it up top.
I am getting.
Oh,
Okay, I am wrong. Then I would, you can,
There's not everyone's joy though.
not everyone's joy. So it was give it a good. The property condition, nothing was done in the last 5 years, so that's average. And then a lot of backs to another house in that neighborhood, that's average. So now we'll update the price. And that comes out to 526, 831.
Or 529.9.
Yeah, I'd
Or-
go with 529.
524,999.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, we looked it up.
I was like, Dan, you're good. Okay, so.
Okay, so this tracks the market data. Typically, if you have it in the neighborhood, it'll give you the neighborhood, but because there was not enough sales in the neighborhood, we did the zip code. So the zip code is being compared to the neighborhood. We go back 0 to 2 months, 2 to 4 months, and 4 to 6 months, what the net price, original list price was, and it's staying pretty steady at 97. Okay, 97%. Days on the market is 68, 71, 57. So it's getting a little bit better the last 2 months versus the previous 4 to 6 months.
So the top one shows that if those properties have been on the market for that long, those people have reduced by 3%.
Right. Then the average list price in the neighborhood in zip code is going to be 603, 533, 553. So there's more houses that are selling for more money than previously. So if you price it less, it should be a better sale for you. Contracts are staying pretty steady. So it looks like they're getting about 6 a month, 6 a month, 5.5 a month down in that area. So pretty steady as far as the average number of contracts. And then the active listings in the zip code, and then the month supply of house. There's less than a month supply of houses, because we saw there was 5 houses on the market and 9 had sold, right? So less than a month supply. And then houses that sold at 99% original list price, 0 to 30 days, 12. 30 to 60 days, they start to sell for less. 60 to 90 days, they sell for even less. And 90 to 120 days, way under. And then again, it kind of flattens out. So that's why it's important to price your house right from the start, or else you're going to stay on 120 days. Is that fun to have your house on the market 120 days?
No.
Making the bed, cleaning the sink, taking the dog out, yada, yada, yada. So no. So that's why it's important to price it, and then fewer houses sell the longer they stay on the market. Correct? All right. So that is that data put into a graph form. So you can see the longer they stay on the market, the less money they're going to get over time. Net price is percentage of time, average list. So this is typically comparing the neighborhood to the zip code, but because they're the same, that's why there's no difference. So people like to see graphs. So in this instance, what was it, 530? And then worst case scenario, you're going to get 500,000. And then also when you call them to talk to them about their condition, you're going to ask them what their payoff is, and their payoff is $423,500. You're going to get 6%. 3, and you're going to pay 3 to the other side. Oh, the other thing was the taxes. If you want to do, we're going to close at the end of June, so we don't have any prorated taxes. Settlement fee, $750. Releasing that is going to be $500, and then it's not well and septic, correct?
Correct.
But this is what I put in right here is $1,000. Okay, and that $1,000 is going to go towards home inspection repairs and potentially radon. Okay. So you want to have a number in there so that when they get the home inspection report, they're not going to freak out and say, well, I sold it for this, so I'm not going to have any money for repairs. Okay, so you want to make sure you put that in. And then recording the release is $50. Then the grantor's tax and congestion relief fee or WMATA fee, $2.50 per thousand. Pest inspections, $50. Home warranty, $550. And then an HOA docs, $350 about, and then you calculate. So that's going to give them their net sheets, the net sheet all the way across from 530 down to 500. Okay? And then next you can either download the report or you can email it. You can email it to multiple people if you want to do that. And then this is reports. That's when you upload your picture and your name and everything when you get into the profile, what that's going to look like. You can see it doesn't have any of the numbers on it that we put in. It has a legend down at the bottom to talk about what these things are across the top, right here. And then where the house should be priced, 526, 831, so you don't want to really go much higher than 530.
Can you print that out?
And you can print it out. Joy. So what are you listed for, Joy?
I listed it for $529.9.
Okay.
And I just sold the one next door for $525.
Right.
No solar help.
Right.
So it's right there.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, Mandy?
So I have a question about coin comps.
Yeah?
So I have a buyer wants to buy this townhome in Del Rey, and the only it's like 2,300 square feet. All the townhomes are 1,000 square feet. The only things close to 2,300 square feet are detached homes. So I've gone just out to the zip code. I've gone back 6 months, but it just there's really not a great, like even a single comp for me other than, like one house that's sold.
Well-
So what would you do? You definitely wouldn't compare it to a detached, would you compare this price per square foot?
You wouldn't compare to that, no.
Would you compare it to other townhouses that are smaller and look for the
Yes,
assessment
and bigger.
percentage?
So it's, tax assessed is like $658. When I did that with the smaller ones, it had a 133% increase, which put the house at like almost $900,000. The
Okay,
seller
what's the address?
so 131 East,
Hold on. 131.
East Reed Ave. I can only find one real
E
quick.
Street?
East, under
EAS.
directional prefix.
East,
I know, but you don't put in that.
yeah, so it's Reed Avenue.
Reed.
Reed Avenue.
Okay, it's not for sale anymore.
No, it's not for sale at all. It's off market. I mean, it's not listed.
Oh, I
We're trying
didn't
to get it before anyone else does.
Now you're.
The guy he had it listed previously for $699, and now he wants $750. The only comp I can find is $707. But if you do a price per square footage, it's like $875. So
Street Avenue.
I'm just torn. It's that one, the second
East
one.
Reed.
Yeah, it's that one.
So in 2006, he spent a lot on this thing for $761.
That's what he wants back.
Yeah,
I
well,
bet it's close,
I came up with like $715, $725
Yeah, 23.
is my range.
right?
But my buyer wants to know, hey, do you think I should pay $750? Because that's what he wants. How bad do you want the house? I don't think it's worth $750. He's like, but Amazon's coming. So I don't want him to I don't want to talk him out of
You might sell
getting
it.
the house that he loves and wants.
Listed at 725 and wait for the escalation addendums to pour in.
You're the buyer, right?
I'm the buyer.
No,
It's not listed. And he's talking to my client before, because he rents it currently. So he's like, hey, you wanna buy it at $750? I said, hey, tell him I'll do the transaction, he'll save half the commission.
what's the zip code?
223,
05.
I
yeah, take, just charge it 3% and you can sell for 725.
That's what I said. How do you pursue that one?
Well, I'm doing one like that right now. We're happy to do it.
I don't wanna talk him out of the house if it's worth it. It's just really hard to find justification for other than price per square foot, which says that pay $1 million.
Never have the nicest house on the street, right?
Right?
So nothing is sold above
You live by that.
617.
There was the same one sold, check page 2, there was the same one sold for $707, which is the highest, like, comp I could find. That's its neighbor. So that's like 2 doors down. That's the best comp I could find. And I figured with the market, $715, $725, no
Oh my
inventory,
God, that's awful.
220,
This kitchen's way better. 725.
$725, that's number
Give
6.
back, and give him back his 3%.
Okay. Oh,
Thank you.
all right.
Zillow's got it at 721.
All right, 725 is good.
Thank you.
So what? Who's next?
Sold.
Sold, yes, sold. All right, anything else? All right, go sell something.
Thank you so much for using my house.